Welcome to Wheelock's Latin, Chapter 2. In this chapter, we're going to talk about nouns, so let's review the parts of speech. In the first chapter, we learned about verbs. We're learning about nouns in this chapter. Later, we'll learn about pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. A noun refers to a person, place, thing, or idea, where idea can include an abstract noun like anger or thought. In English, we understand how a noun is being used in a sentence based on word order and prepositions. In Latin, we understand how a noun is being used in a sentence based on inflected endings. Inflected endings show us cases, and cases convey meaning. In English, and in Latin, the subject is what does the action of the verb, and the object is what receives the action of the verb. In English, both of these are indicated by word order. In my sample sentences, the professor loves the cat, and the cat loves the professor, you know who is the subject, that is, who is doing the action of the verb, and who is the object, that is, who is receiving the action of the verb based on word order. The noun before the verb is the subject. In the first sentence, the professor is the subject, the professor loves, and in the second sentence, the cat is the subject, the cat loves. The object receives the action of the verb, and in English, it occurs after the verb. In English, we indicate possession by using an apostrophe S after the word, or if it's plural, S apostrophe. In a sample phrase, the professor's cat, the apostrophe S at the end of professor shows you that the professor possesses the cat. The cat belongs to the professor. In English, the indirect object is indicated either by word order or by prepositions. In the sample sentence, the poet gives large roses to the girl. The girl is the indirect object, and it is indicated by the preposition to. Large roses are the direct object that directly receive the action of the verb. The girl is indirectly affected. You can say the same thing with different words in a slightly different order. The poet gives the girl large roses. In this sample sentence, without the preposition, the indirect object comes immediately after the verb, and the direct object comes after the indirect object. You understand, based on your knowledge of English, that in this sentence, the large roses are directly receiving the action of the verb, and the girl is indirectly affected by the action of the verb. In Latin, each of these meanings are conveyed by inflected endings. The subject appears in the nominative case, the object appears in the accusative case, possession is shown by the genitive case, and indirect objects are shown with the dative case. There are 6 cases in Latin: the nominative, the genitive, the dative, the accusative, the ablative, and the vocative. As mentioned before, the nominative is used to denote the subject of the sentence, and it's also used to denote the predicate nominative. The predicate nominative occurs after linking verbs. The only linking verb we know right now are forms of the verb to be. Forms of the verb to be in English are am, are, and is. In my sample sentence in Latin, catus, magnus est, catus is the subject in the nominative case. Magnus is the predicate nominative, also in the nominative case. This sentence means the cat is great. The cat is the English subject, and great is the predicate. The predicate must agree with the subject in case because it is linked by the linking verb, which is a form of to be. Therefore, both of them are in the nominative. The genitive is used to show possession. In my sample phrase, catus magistri, the ending of the word magistra is in the genitive case, showing that magistra owns the catus, the cat of the professor, or in English, the professor's cat also works. The dative is used to show the indirect object, forgive me. It's also used after certain prepositions, which we will learn later. The accusative is used to designate the direct object. It, too, is used after certain prepositions, which we will learn later. The ablative has many uses. Some of them have a preposition, some of them do not have a preposition. We will learn them one by one in later chapters. Examples include the ablative of means, the ablative of manner, and the ablative of agent. The vocative is only used when you're speaking to someone directly and calling them by name. So if you want to talk to your friend Marcus, you have to change the ending of his name when talking to him directly, which is a short E. So you say, "Hi, Marque," which in Latin is "Salve, Marque." The short E is what you use when you want to talk to him directly. In our next video, we'll talk about the declension endings for the first declension.